Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn the different data types that are used in R programming. So this R is a statistical programming language. It is a programming language. We can install this programming language on Windows, or you can also install on Mac OS. So let us see the different types of data structures of this R programming. Uh, it is very important to learn this programming language because we can work on genomic data types, so genomic data sets with the help of this R programming language. So first let us know the basic data type, that is called vector. So we find vectors, matrix, data. So we can find these kind of data types like no vectors, matrix. Also we find data frame. We can find the lists in the R. So these are the major types of data structures that are used in the R programming language. First let us understand the vectors. So vectors, so we know that in physics we study the vectors. So their vector means which has both the magnitude and the direction. For example, you take the velocity, so we represent the vectors with the arrows. So that means the length of this arrow, this length of the length of this arrow indicates the magnitude, and the direction of this arrow indicates its direction. So this is vector actually. But in case of the programming language, so here the vector contains a group of elements. That means the vector stores group of elements, and this vector we can assign to a variable. Okay, got it. So a variable then have a vector which contains a group of elements, or a group of yes, group of characters. Okay, see, the scalar in physics, where you know that that has only magnitude but no direction, but the vectors have the magnitude as well the directions. But coming to these vectors in the programming language, so here the vectors contains a group of elements, so they stores group of elements, and we assign a vector to a variable in the programming language, that is in the R. For example, let us see what are the different types of vectors present. See, we have a logical vectors, numeric vectors, integer vectors, complex vectors, character vectors. See, in this two are very important, numeric vector and the character vector. Let us see how to uh, write a numeric vector or a character vector in programming language. For example, see, this is the numeric vector, and the other one is the character vector. These two are very important. Let us see how we write this. See, on command terminal, so on command terminal of this R programming language, first we have to write a variable, so to which we assign this vector. For example, a is a here a is a variable. Okay, we are assigning a vector to this one. So what vector we are assigning here is for example, we are assigning a numeric vector. Okay, we are assigning a numeric vector. Got it? Okay. See, vector, as I said, contains a group of elements. So you can see it has a group of elements, and we are storing this vector into this variable. We are storing into this variable, and we have to use certain commands in or in any programming language to work on the data types. For example, for this numeric vector, you have to write C in front of this brackets. Okay, so C here groups all these elements and stores it in this variable. Got it? So concatenate, we call it concatenate. For example, you want to store only one character. For example, let us take 5. For this you don't need to write this one. Okay, you can directly store this 5 in the variable a. Okay, so when you okay, the this is how we write or we store a vector into a variable. Okay, got it? Okay, for example, so okay, when you execute this command in the R programming, what output you will get? See, the output comes like this. The output comes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it? Okay, this is a vector. See, these values can be the length of your earthworm, or they can be the number of permission different water samples. Okay, so you have a vector, that means a group of values. Okay, and if you want to, if you have suppose some thousand values and you want to find out what is the maximum value in your vector and what is the minimum value in your vector, so by simple command we can find out what is the maximum value and minimum value in the R program. For example, you just type max. Okay, after this max of a, variable a, so that will provide the maximum value of the vector which is stored in this variable a. Okay, got it? Okay, alage same way you can see, you can type the min for finding the minimum value, or you can also find out what is the mean value also. So just write mean and in brackets write your the variable. So in this variable already the vector is stored, so we can find out the mean for the hundreds of numbers which are present in our this vector. Okay, got it? So this is the vector we have, so that is called numeric vector. Why that is called numeric vectors? See, numeric vectors, you know that they contains the decimal values. We also call the numeric vectors as a double or float in the C language, but in R program we call this as a numeric because it contains the decimal values. See, though you type 5, see, you take a variable a, and when you store when you assign 5 for this variable, when you look into the type of this variable, so the R gives output that this variable is a numeric, or this variable contains a numeric value or numeric data. Why it provides that this is a numeric value, though there is no decimal point after this 5, because by default it takes any value as a numeric value, like that, no, like 5.00 it takes. So if you don't want the decimal values, in such case you have to write capital L after the value and then store it in a variable. Then you check the type of what type of the type of the numeric value. So definitely type of the value that definitely gives you that no, it is a not a numeric, it gives as a integer. Okay, that you have to remember, so that is very important. Okay, also you can store directly like this by writing variable first, assign a variable, then write as dot integer, then in bracket you write the 5. So this 5 is stored as a integer value, so in such case you don't need to write 5 L after the 5, capital L after the 5. That is very important. So numeric vectors where we store group of values. In integer also, in integer vector also where we store group of values, but after each value we write capital L, because that declares that this value is an integer. Okay. And the other important vector is the character vector. Suppose you want to store names of individuals, for example, like in a vector you want to store characters like Rama, Raghu, so on and so in such case you have to put the quotation marks uh, for these characters. Okay, then you put C in front of this one and assign a variable for this. Okay, first you assign a variable, then put C means concatenate, then open then put the brackets. So inside of these brackets you put the quotation marks, then write each character here like this. Okay, then you execute this command, you will get that no b the output as no Rama, Raghu. Okay, so this is how we store the characters in a vector and assign that vector to a variable. Okay, suppose you don't want to have a group of characters or a group of elements in this vector, just you want to store a single character. In such case you can take a variable and there you can store like this Raghu in a Raghu. Okay, so you put this quotation marks. So when you put this quotation marks, so that this R program declares that this is a character vector. If you don't put this quotation marks, so you get a error. So that is the problem. And if you want to store these characters as numbers, so in that case you can use you can first take a variable and assign a variable for this, and then write as dot numeric, then open the bracket, then write the C, then again open a bracket, there you write your characters like Raghu, Ramu, like this. Okay, then this will be taken or stored as a numeric. So even the characters as are stored as a numeric. Suppose you want to store only one character as numeric, in such case you can just simply assign a variable and then write as dot numeric, then inside of the bracket you just write Raghu and put a quotation mark. So this will store your character as a numeric value. So the other important one is the complex. So in this complex, where you can see you will have an imaginary number, or we can say it's the iota. So in such case we use for this imaginary numbers. So when you want to store in the vector, so you can store it. Also the logical vector, we can store the logical vector also true or false. Okay, got it. So these are the types of vectors we use in the R programming. Okay, and in the next video we will discuss the other types of data structure that is used in R programming language, that is a matrix. So matrices are very important because you know that which contains the rows and columns, and most of the times our data contains more columns and more rows, not like a single and it's not like a single column or a single row. Usually it contains more columns and more rows. Okay, usually we when we write a vector, when we store a vector, So how that vector is taken, whether it is taken as a row or a column. So the vector is taken as a column, not as a row, that you have to understand. When you take 1 2 3 4 5 as vector, and see this is taken as a row by the this programming language, not as a column. Okay. And moreover, how to know what type of vector is stored in our variable. So for that you have to use the function class. So the class is the function, you just write the class, and then inside of that, after writing class, you just open the brackets. In the brackets you write what type of variable you would like to know that has stored the kind of the vector in it. So if you want to know what kind of vector is stored in a variable, so you just write the variable name in the brackets after the writing the class, so you will get the output what type of vector that is present in that particular variable. So thank you for watching this video.